I was once a man of great wealth and success. My name is William Carter. People respected me, not just for my business empire, but because I believed in kindness. I built my fortune from the ground up, starting as a young man with barely a dollar to my name and a heart full of dreams. I worked day and night, sacrificing sleep, comfort, and even my own happiness to build a future, not just for myself, but for my family. My wife, Elizabeth, was my greatest supporter. She believed in me when no one else did. Together, we raised our only son, Michael. Oh, how I love that boy. I gave him everything. The best education, the finest toys, and a life of comfort I could only dream of as a child. When he scraped his knee, I was there. When he was scared of the dark, I held him close. When he fell, I picked him up. I was more than just his father. I was his protector, his guide, his biggest cheerleader. Years passed, and my business flourished. People admired me, but what gave me the most joy was watching Michael grow into a fine young man. When he graduated from college, I felt like I had accomplished my greatest mission. I wanted nothing more than to see him succeed. But life has a way of taking as much as it gives. Elizabeth, my wife, my partner in everything, fell ill. At first, it was just fatigue, something we thought would pass. But the doctors gave us the news no one ever wants to hear. Her time was limited. I stayed by her side, holding her hand as she grew weaker. The woman who had once filled our home with warmth and laughter now lay in a hospital bed, her eyes filled with silent goodbyes. And then, one evening, just as the golden sunset bathed the room in its last light, she left. I had built an empire, but I couldn't save the one person who meant the most to me. The house, once alive with her presence, felt empty, the silence louder than any storm. Michael grieved, but life quickly pulled him forward. His career, his ambitions, his world continued to grow. Mine, however, had already started to shrink. With my health declining, I knew I couldn't run my business forever. My hands trembled when I held a pen. My body no longer had the strength it once did. So, I made a decision. I signed everything, my company, my wealth, my properties, over to my son. After all, everything I had built was for him. I expected nothing in return, just a place in his life, a corner in the home I had built with love. But soon, I began to feel like a guest in my own house. The warm conversations turned into brief nods. The family dinners became silent meals, and then they stopped altogether. The home that once echoed with laughter now felt like a cold, unfamiliar space. One evening, Michael sat me down. He smiled, but it wasn't the smile of the little boy who once called me his hero. "Dad," he said, "I think it would be best if you move to a place where you'll be more comfortable." I frowned. More comfortable? Yes, an assisted living home. They'll take care of you better than I can. I stared at him, searching for any sign of hesitation, any flicker of doubt. But there was none. My own son, the boy I had once carried on my shoulders, was sending me away. The day I left, I didn't cry. I smiled and told him I understood. I didn't want him to feel guilty. But inside, I was shattered. Now, I sit in this small, quiet room, staring at the window as the sun sets, just like my life slowly fading away. Around me, other forgotten souls wander the hallways, waiting for a visit that may never come. I watch as their eyes light up when their families arrive. Hugs, laughter, stories exchanged. And then I look at my own hands, empty, waiting for someone who never shows up. I wonder if Michael ever thinks of me. Does he remember the bedtime stories? The times I carried him on my shoulders? The nights I stayed awake just to make sure he was safe? I don't blame him. Maybe this is just how life is. Maybe I was foolish to believe that love could last forever. But if he ever hears my story, I want him to know one thing. I still love him. I always will. Thank you for joining me. If my story touched your heart or made you emotional, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories that blend with life's deeper truths. Until next time, take care, cherish your memories, and keep finding light in even the darkest of days. Remember, life's a mixed bag, sometimes a comedy, sometimes a tragedy, but always a story worth living.